Welcome back into the GSMC Sports Podcast for our final segment of the day, where we're going to be running through a number of the most impactful games from the MLB on Monday afternoon. And we're going to be starting off with what ended up being a great game between two potential playoff teams in the Cleveland Guardians and Arizona Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks, first off, it was a chaotic first couple of innings as this thing played out, where you saw from the beginning there was a number of, potential injuries, ended up being a serious one as well. Both teams were able to score 2 runs in the first inning. Diamondbacks back-to-back home runs to start off the game between Marte and Moreno. The Guardians were able to even it up at 2 apiece in the bottom of the first, but the Guardians starting pitcher, Logan Allen, took a couple balls off the body during this start, where in the first inning, a bouncing ball coming back at him actually took his hat off of his head, and he got checked out there a little bit with the trainers checking out his temple and everything. He was able to stay in there, but then in the second inning, he took another ball off of his leg. Now, unfortunately, on that same play, we saw Gabriel Moreno go down as he was trying to beat out that infield single that came off of Allen's leg, and he does end up reaching first, but it, along the lines as well, ends up pulling something in his groin, so he had to be taken out of that game. It doesn't appear to be too serious, but definitely was a bummer for the Diamondbacks there, but it didn't ultimately end up mattering, because the Diamondbacks ended up taking this game to extra innings. It was Jock Peterson that demolished a pitch that was left too close in the zone to hit a 2-run home run to give the Diamondbacks a 1-run lead in the 8th. And then we saw in the 9th inning, Diamondbacks fans are hopefully not going to hate me too much, but I do feel like I'm kind of harping on it a lot, but the closer situation for the Diamondbacks right now is just pretty disastrous at the moment, where Ryan Thompson came in for that 9th inning and with a 1-run lead ends up blowing the save. Couldn't get it done for a second consecutive night here. In his defense, the outfield didn't do him any favors. On a Bo Naylor drive to the outfield, ends up going off of the wall, and there was a miscommunication between Gurriel and McCarthy that was able to almost gift Naylor that extra base, and then ultimately the Guardians were able to pinch hit Schneemann to come in, and he ends up driving in the tying run. So this goes to extra innings. The Diamondbacks are able to win this game, so they stay hot in terms of the win-loss column, and they've been playing really great baseball lately. But I just look at that closer situation and what's going on at the back of the bullpen, and I am really concerned, because that was one of their strengths. That's how they were able to overcome some of the odds in order to make the World Series last year. And with Sewald just sort of out of commission for them in terms of being able to pitch those high leverage situations, it is definitely a real concern in my eyes. But this was one of the 2 extra innings games that we got yesterday. We also saw the Texas Rangers able to walk off the Houston Astros. A little bit of a division rivalry going on there. We saw Corey Seager just stay red hot. He's been on an absolute heater lately. He ends up hitting the game-tying home run in the bottom of the 8th inning, which marked his 4th home run in 5 games. So he's been incredible. And then in extra innings, it was Josh Smith, who has just been on a tear this season. Struggling a little bit as of late, but gets himself back in the positive direction with this walk-off home run. It was possibly the biggest hit for the Rangers so far this season. I was doing show prep as I was watching this game, and I was sort of finally talking myself into, is it time to officially count out the Rangers and turn the page on this season? And while it still may be, I'm not ready to fully quit them I'm not ready to fully quit them after watching what they were able to do down the stretch of last season. Hopefully the pitching staff continues to get a little bit healthier as this moves on here, and I don't know, obviously it's the offensive production as well from the perspective of the Rangers. Bats aren't producing at the same level as what you would prefer them to, but Leody Taveras also been playing better as of late. Adolis Garcia, you definitely want a little bit more out of him, but it feels like this is a Rangers team that, again, I'm just not fully ready to quit as of this moment. Looking at where the American League West stands as of this morning, the Mariners now have a 1.5 game lead over the Astros. Rangers on the outside looking in, they are currently 54 and 59. They are a handful of games back from the wild card spot, 8.5. So again, that is a massive deficit to try and make up in these final 2 months. That it is very likely that it's probably past their time here, but I'm still not ready to fully move off of them. But definitely let me know in the comments section if I'm being unrealistic with my expectations for them. Definitely not picking them as things currently stand, but I'm just not really ready to rule them out fully just yet. And then we got a matchup between the top two teams in the National League in the Phillies and Dodgers. Both of them have been struggling as of late, and this was the Phillies coming short to mark their 7th loss in 8 games. Now, before getting too negative there, I do want to highlight what was a pretty powerful moment. Freddie Freeman making his return for the Dodgers, missed the previous 8 games as he is taking care of his son, and he was able to come back in this game. The ovation was really cool to see, the emotion that he is currently playing with right now. He was ultimately able to record a hit in this game, so pretty cool stuff there, but it was the home runs from Teoscar Hernandez and Shohei Ohtani that provided the run production they needed. Also want to highlight Tyler Glasnow as well, where he struck out 9 in this start. He's now at a career high in terms of strikeouts in a season as a whole. And so strikeouts for the season as a whole, now at a new high with 164. He is also at a career high in innings pitched, which is substantial because this is a Dodgers rotation that has been definitely struggling as of late. And Glasnow has sort of emerged as the ace, considering all of the injuries that have taken place to your Gonsolins, your Yamamotos, your Kershaws, your Ohtanis, that at this point Glasnow is now the guy to sort of look forward to in the rotation. And you're looking at somebody who's been dealing with injuries for a number of years here, and that's what the Dodgers are now banking on, which is a little bit concerning. Neither one of these teams in the Phillies and the Dodgers playing tremendous right now. Luckily, both of them were able to build up enough of a lead during the first half plus of the season that ultimately it shouldn't be too dramatic in terms of the pennant race in their divisions. But the Braves now 5.5 games within the Phillies, and the Dodgers with 2 teams really sort of gunning for that playoff spot in the Diamondbacks like we just talked about, and the San Diego Padres as well. So could be a little bit closer than we would have anticipated about a month or so ago. We will continue to watch how this series plays out. But individual player that I do want to sort of highlight here before we get out of here is Elly De La Cruz, where it's funny, he just had the interview with Jeff Passan. It was on Sunday or Monday, and Elly referred to himself as the most entertaining player in baseball, and he did just about everything he could to back that up yesterday. 5 at-bats, 4 extra base hits, including 2 home runs. Drove in 3 runs during that, was also able to score, I believe it was 3 times himself, in what was a dominant win for the Cincinnati Reds over, granted, the Miami Marlins. But Elly is just he's just such a fun player, and it's funny that he is also sort of addressing it himself about the type of talent he is, and he's not wrong whatsoever. Sure, there are inconsistencies maybe in terms of strikeouts and his plate appearance, but I mean, the man is electric, and I do think that he is going to really emerge as one of the, most notable. If the MLB is going to try to lean more into the promotion of their stars, Elly De La Cruz has to be one of the top names on that list. But there were a number of other games as well. Of course, don't have time to cover everything. I'll note that the Mets were able to defeat the Cardinals in what was just a makeup game from May. The Cardinals have been sliding as of late. I talked about the fact that I do think that NL Central pennant is very much up for grabs, that I'm not totally sold on the Brewers, but Cardinals have been struggling as of late. They're not doing themselves any favors, and while the Mets, sure, it's good for them that they were able to avoid the 3-game slide. I think the more substantial thing is that the Cardinals are plummeting back to just over 500. They're now 57-56, and they're about to start off a series against the Rays that kicks off tonight. So maybe the Cardinals are going to be able to get right back on the right track, but we will have to see. But that is all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for tuning in to the GSMC Sports Podcast. Thank you to the GSMC Sports Network for allowing us to host this show. Remember to like, follow, subscribe wherever you keep up with us. Be sure to check us out on social media as well for more exclusive short content, and we will be back tomorrow afternoon, same time as always at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. We will see you then. Take care.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet. Damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go.